Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Updegraff, the Vice President of Solutions for FreeClimb at Vail. And we've seen that there have been a number of live demos today, and so we're going to change it up a little bit. We're actually going to show a demo of a productionalized conversational AI solution that is in production and serving over 6 million callers per month right now. But I have the demo that we pre-taped and we'll be showing you, but I'm going to go through some of our solutions before we start that demo. A little bit of the background for the company. We have been in business for over 32 years, coming on 33 years. And in that 33 years, we've always maintained 5 nines ability, or availability, I should say. So highly available solution that handles over 10 billion minutes of packetized data per year. We have a number of integrated solutions into our platform. You see them up here. We have our own bespoke ASR, TTS, and speech-to-text, voice SMS APIs, full analytics package, and enhanced network services are all available within the confines of this one company. But we're going to kind of drill down into the conversational AI is what we're presenting here today. The conversational AI is basically a front end for contact centers where the customers would really like to have the calls contained before they go to a live agent. It is an omnichannel AI platform, a full neural network, which handles currently over 6 million calls per month with real customers. The great thing about this is it's multi-channel. So as you train the platform once, the same training data is used across chat, SMS, voice, any type of channel that you would like. It has out-of-the-box integration with almost all of our additional platforms add-ons, and it all has our philosophy of aggregated data up, drill down to the individual customer. So let's take a look at some of the things that we have. So we have a contextualized user experience that allows customers to drill down to exactly what is happening to their customers. So this is interesting data always, but in this package, you actually get it in context. So you can look at to see, hey, has a customer hung up? Sure, that's interesting data, but why did they hung up? Was there friction in the system? Was it an easy transaction? All data is contextualized in a customer path. And these customer paths you can see, again, aggregated up, and the ability to drill down to the individual customer on how this works as a system. Where a customer started, what paths through the IVR or any type of visual activity or chatbot or chat path did that customer take. You'll see all of this in the demo to the drill down. It's a very powerful tool, but I won't talk too much here because I would like to get into the demo. All the metrics are stored in a CDR format. So you're able to mine it through multiple types of databases. We have NoSQL, SQL, Redis, all types of databases that are holding your data. This is easily modularized as to the types of data that you would like, but it's all in one platform, one portal that's pulling all your data. We have what's called the Knowledge Center, and the Knowledge Center, it's an architectural entity where you have the ability to pull in all of your profile management. What has a customer done through all the channels across all the time that you'd like to look? This allows us to do things like have pre-call prediction, in-call prediction, or during call prediction, and post-call prediction. The pre-call prediction is very powerful because it allows us, before we actually interact with the customer, why they're calling. You can look at what they've done in the past, what activities are coming up in the future. For instance, maybe they have a bill due. Maybe there is, like in Florida, there may be a weather event coming through, and they may be calling an insurance company to find out if they have coverage for a particular event that's coming through. All that can be looked at through third-party services as well to say, hey, this person is calling in, they're probably calling in to check on this data, and let's front-load that interaction with them. Callback services is one of the things that's plug and play into the platform and also can be sold orthogonally. This is the thing that I'm sure that we all have firsthand experience with. You call in, there's a long wait to go to the call center, and we offer the ability to call you back. And we offer basically 3 ways of doing this. You can ask, hey, would you like a callback now? Would you like to schedule a callback? Or can we actually call back in the future, in future days? These are language specific skills. The user can provide multiple pieces of data that helps them personalize their callback experience as well. There's a campaign mode as well that our customers are finding very useful, and that's for outbound calling. It's used in things like a late payment reminder, or if we have one of our customers is a large telephone provider. When all the 3G network was being expired, they were able to go through and actually proactively reach all their customers that had 3G phones that were going to go out of service before they actually went out of service. Then we also have Versailles Survey. One of the things we find is that many times surveys are a bit touchy to change, and they become a bit sclerotic with our customers. They find that they in place a survey and they don't ever want to change it. The only thing that they're really looking at is that survey data doesn't change, that number doesn't change. They're not necessarily any longer collecting the data that's interesting to them because it's so difficult. So the survey service actually provides an API-based service where they can come in and immediately change a survey. It's a drag and drop interface where you can have different types of data collected, dichotomous data, numeric data, the Likert scale, net promoter services or scale. You're able to do this, and another thing is very powerful is that there's a free form aspect to it. So you can actually go in and ask a customer, tell us what you actually thought of our service. They can speak in, if it's a speaking thing, they can just speak to what their experience was, and through our bespoke ASR models, we can go speech to text and actually bring that in a text form, or they can type it in if they're in a chat channel. It plugs into another one of our services called Wave Runner, and you'll see that where it automatically allows the customer to type in what they want. They can translate it to multiple languages. They can create a Wave audio file that is played to a customer if this is in an audio form. And we'll see that in a second here. We have an hours of operation service that plugs into the system as well. Imagine the call centers may have operational hours that go across multiple continents, multiple time zones. This also doesn't have to be just a call center, it can be individuals as well. So they're able to quickly adjust and dynamically apply outages in the system. For instance, we had a customer with a call center in Guatemala that had an earthquake. They're able to easily come in, shut down that call center, and then all applications that are interfacing with the hours of operation service are able to stop sending calls or chats to that location. We have our own automatic speech recognition and text-to-speech, and that we have bespoke models. We have customers that have branded voice that we're able to create that voice with them for text-to-speech. We have a translation service that's built into it. Using all of these bespoke models is able to significantly increase the accuracy of our platform. So let's get to that platform. That's the interesting part, right? That's what we want to see. And I have a pre-recorded demo because, as I said, this is a live system. It's actually working with customers. And so we don't want to change the data.
This is the Conversational AI portal. This is your centralized place to manage and monitor the intelligent assistant in production. Its capabilities include real-time analytics, in-depth statistical reporting, full conversation review across all channels, as well as deep diving and viewing individual user journeys. This is the custom analytics page. On this page, we compile the raw data and display the results in visual widgets. This page is customizable without any code being required. The system uses a UI to create everything. This means that widgets can be added and removed in a matter of minutes rather than days. For example, here we see the breakdown of known to unknown users. In this widget, we can have the breakdown of intents across all channels. It is glanceable, it's high level, it gives you the data you need to ensure everything is behaving normally. This is the conversation review page. This is where you can really deep dive. On this page, you can see every conversation on the system. Every action by the user is recorded here in its entirety. Analysts and designers can search to find problem conversations and make changes quickly. For example, we can add training data like this when we find a misclassified phrase. Filters can be added and saved to allow users to effortlessly search for edge cases on a regular basis. Here, let's listen to a conversation quickly.
Hello, Max. How can we help you today?
I'd like to pay the balance on my monthly bill with my credit card on file.
Sure. Just to confirm.
The identity provider page is the front end to our identity provider subsystem. The identity provider is tasked with identifying users on any channel as soon as they start interacting, even before they logged in. When a user is found, his information is stored under his name. For example, user Max has been on different channels. We can look him up and see what channel IDs are mapped to him. A channel ID can be a phone number, an IP address, a Facebook Messenger ID, or a cookie, just to name a few. Once we have that mapping done, the identity provider will be able to link that user to his global user account. Let's click on user activity to see what this user has done on the platform. Remember that Hydra can integrate with other third-party components, such as external chatbots. We provide the tools to integrate these providers. Here's the user profile page. This is the page we see everything we know about Max. All his past interactions are stored, and from here we can derive metadata about his preferences. We see all the metadata here. The metadata is customer specified, so we can work with customers to make sure they have the relevant metadata that they need. Here we show call paths. This screen allows us to look at aggregate data and drill down even to individual phone calls. It allows us to filter at specific time range. Here we choose a week. It allows us to look at specific activities within the system. Here we are looking at one-time payments. You can look at English or Spanish, really any language that is enabled. We can also look at success and failures and download all the raw data. Here's an example from an IVR. In this 1 week of bill payments, this particular customer had 1.2 million calls, of which 242,000 were a one-time payment. At a quick glance, you can see where all 242,000 people ended up. How many ended up in success, how many ended up in failure, or any other state. But this aggregated data doesn't necessarily give us the details as to what may be going wrong with the system or where it can be improved. To understand better what is happening, let's click and deep dive into one-time payment exit. Here on this screen, it shows us 103,000 phone calls that ended up in the one-time payment exit. Here are the exit states that they can be in. They exited the IVR, they requested an operator, and so forth. Really all the different places these activities can end. Below is the entire list of these phone calls. But 103,000 is quite a lot, so let's keep drilling down. Let's say we want to see where people are actually hanging up within the system. We'll sort on hang up and see that there are 5 people who hung up when it asked about using the same credit card on file. We'll double click here on the heat map to look at these 5. Down below, you see the 5 calls listed. We'll double click on one of the calls to further investigate it. This takes us to the actual transcript of the calls with the audio included, so we can review it in detail and find out exactly why they hung up. So quite amazingly, we've gone down from 1.2 million calls this week to a single call exhibiting a behavior that we're looking for. Verse survey allows you to quickly and dynamically gather the voice of the customer that directly impacts your business. You can easily organize questions into campaigns, which are broad groupings of surveys. The interface is easy to use, drag and drop, and immediately available in production with the press of a button. We have 3 levels of organization here. Campaigns, which hold a collection of related surveys, surveys that hold the relevant questions, and the questions themselves. So let's go ahead and look at a campaign. And we can see here are the languages for this campaign. So right now we have Spanish and English, but we no longer want to support Spanish, so we can just go ahead and remove that. Or we can support another language like a Spanish dialect of Spanish. We'll leave that as well. Now let's look at a series, and we can see the drag and drop interface for configuring your surveys. With this UI, it's really easy to see what the flow is going to be. So we start off, we go to greeting, and then we go to quickly conduct business question. So here's a 1 through 5 question, but we might not quite remember what that means, so let's go ahead and click on that. And we can see that 5 means that they were able to quickly complete their business, so they're probably pretty happy. And if we look at the conditions connecting to it and branching off, we can see that if their response was 3, so middle of the road, we might want to ask them for any additional feedback we should implement. And if they're happy and it's a 4 or 5, we'll just let them go. But if they're unsatisfied, which is a 1 or 2, we'll ask them if they're planning to look for another bank. But hopefully they aren't. But this is a Likert scale question, which is strongly disagree to strongly agree. And the conditions we have going are So if they're not looking for another bank, disagree, or strongly disagree, we'll ask them for any feedback we can implement. But if they are looking for another bank, we're going to ask them for a callback so we can talk to them person to person and try to figure out a way to retain them. So as you can see here, we're missing the neutral option. So let's go ahead and add a new question. Call it recommendations. And here you can see the question list of the types of questions we have. We have numeric ones, 1 through 5 and 1 through 10, dichotomous ones like yes or no, true or false. We have the Likert scale, as I described before, Net Promoter Score, as well as freeform questions where we can say anything. Let's go ahead and make a yes or no question and say, would you recommend us to a friend or family member? Go ahead and create that. And then we see the configuration page for questions. And here's our text, as well as the Spanish translation. So let's go ahead and create our audio. Listen to that.
Would you recommend us to a friend or family member?
Save it and do the same for Spanish.
¿Nos recomendarías a un amigo o familiar?
And now that we've created the question, let's go back to the survey and hook it up. And we'll drag that down here and go ahead and take this from look for another bank to recommendation. Let's put the neutral condition. And we don't need to ask them any more questions, so we'll just go to end. And here, the callback option is for another service we have where we can have a live agent call the customer back when the queue is empty. So that's how we add new questions and configure our surveys. And this is automatically updating the application using it, so it's highly dynamic. Now let's go ahead and look at some metrics. Here's some live data from a phone banking survey. Now it's pretty low volume, but you can see that not everyone finished their survey. But when you click into the questions themselves, for instance, this is a freeform question, so you can see all the different responses, as well as a custom AI-generated summary. With tens of thousands of comments coming in daily, we summarize all feedback into a digestible form through an AI-generated summary. This highlights positive and negative feedback, what requires immediate attention, and what opportunities there are for improvement. And that concludes the Versae survey demonstration. Now let's jump to the reporting page. We have already seen many ways to look at the data in the analytics and conversation pages, but sometimes we need an even more analysis. For example, we may want to see how thousands of users are interacting with specific prompts in the dialog design, and then review each interaction. We can use a reporting subsystem to create very detailed reports that deep dive into specific questions. In this demo, we have 4 reports available. For example, we can see all the user phrases that our processing system was unable to understand, and here it is. We can also specify dates and times and really drill down into the performance of individual releases. Reports can also be created for specific tasks to give customers the exact data that they need to drive their business decisions. Lastly, the admin portal also allows the ability to view and manage the training data that make up the dialog manager itself. Normally, this would be code and buried deep within the system, but we have full access to it here. There's an option to add, subtract, and edit the training data. We also have the ability to change dynamic prompts, providing an opportunity for large reduction in cycle time. Here is an example of the prompt that is played before the main dialog on every channel. All are easily managed in one place. And that concludes the high-level overview of the admin portal. It is a role-based management portal designed to really give your organization the power it needs for analysis and review of the platform in real time.
So that concludes the demonstration. Are there any questions? All right, I think we're done then.